The morning shift alarm echoed through the research vessel as Dr. Cale Thornton stumbled toward his workstation. Coffee still steamed from his mug while holographic displays flickered to life around him. Another day of endless planetary classifications awaited, but today felt different. The overnight computer had flagged something unusual in the latest survey data. Cale rubbed his tired eyes and focused on the anomaly. Planet designation Sol-3 had received a classification that made him do a double take. Extinction Class Omega. He had been cataloging worlds for 12 years and had never seen that rating applied to any planet. Even the molten hellscapes orbiting dying stars rarely exceeded Class 7. Computer, verify classification for Sol-3, he commanded. Classification confirmed. SOL-3 receives Extinction Class Omega designation based on comprehensive threat assessment. The designation meant certain death for any galactic species attempting to inhabit the world. Cale pulled up the planet's basic information. SOL-3 appeared deceptively beautiful from space. Blue oceans covered most of its surface, with green and brown landmasses scattered between white cloud formations. The planet looked almost inviting, like a tropical paradise. There must be an error, Cale muttered. Cross-referencing the data, the survey algorithms had analyzed everything from atmospheric composition to geological activity. Solar radiation levels fell within normal parameters. No signs of hostile alien civilizations or ancient weapon systems. The planet even supported abundant life according to the bioscanners. Yet somehow, every single survival probability calculation returned 0% for galactic standard species. Captain Vel entered the research bay, her elongated Centauri frame moving with typical grace. Her people had evolved on peaceful worlds, where the most dangerous creature was roughly equivalent to a Earth butterfly. The concept of predation was foreign to her species, relegated to ancient history lessons about their primitive ancestors. Dr. Thornton, I need your assessment of this Sol-3 classification, she said, concern evident in her melodic voice. Captain, I think we have a computer malfunction. The system is telling me this garden world is more dangerous than the neutron star systems in the Vega cluster. Vel examined the data with growing confusion. Her training included detailed knowledge of galactic threat classifications, but this made no logical sense. The planet showed clear signs of a thriving ecosystem, with diverse plant and animal life. Water existed in liquid form across vast areas. The temperature ranges seemed comfortable for most known species. Navigator Quinn arrived from the bridge, his aquatic suit making soft gurgling sounds as he moved. His species had evolved in the peaceful depths of Rigel's ocean worlds where cooperation and harmony were essential for survival. Violence was so rare among his people that they had no words for concepts like murder or warfare. Captain, the Galactic Council has issued new orders, Quinn announced. We are to investigate SOL-3 directly. They want a comprehensive survey of why this planet received such an extreme classification. Cale felt his stomach tighten. Direct surveys of extinction-class worlds were typically conducted by automated probes, not crewed vessels. The fact that the Council wanted a manned mission suggested something unprecedented was happening. How long until we reach the system? Vel asked. Approximately 6 standard rotations at current speed, Quinn replied. The next few days passed in tense preparation. The crew reviewed every piece of available data about Sol-3, searching for clues about its lethal nature. Long-range sensors detected no obvious threats. No massive predators stalked the surface. No toxic gas clouds drifted through the atmosphere. No evidence of plague or disease. Dr. Cale spent hours analyzing the planet's dominant species. The survey computers had identified bipedal creatures called humans as the primary intelligent life form. They appeared relatively fragile compared to most galactic species, lacking natural armor, claws, or venomous capabilities. Their technology seemed primitive by galactic standards, barely achieving basic spaceflight. These humans look harmless, Cale observed, studying the biological data. They are shorter than most species, with thin skin and no obvious defensive features. How could they survive on an extinction-class world? The question haunted him as they approached the SOL system. Every scan revealed more contradictions. The planet's surface showed evidence of massive civilizations, sprawling cities, and advanced agriculture. Billions of humans lived across every continent, apparently thriving in their environment. Communications Officer Nira joined the investigation, her insectoid features clicking with concentration as she analyzed human transmissions. Her species communicated through pheromones and harmonic frequencies, making violence nearly impossible between individuals. "I am detecting extensive communication networks," she reported. "The humans appear to be highly social with complex language systems and cultural exchanges." As they entered the outer edge of the SOL system, Captain Vell ordered maximum defensive protocols. Force fields activated, weapon systems powered up, and the crew donned emergency suits. If Sol-3 truly deserved its extinction-class rating, they would approach with extreme caution. The planet grew larger on their view screens, and its beauty became even more apparent. Swirling white clouds painted patterns across deep blue oceans. Green forests covered vast areas of the landmasses, while snow-capped mountains rose majestically toward the sky. It looked like paradise, not a death world. "Beginning long-range biological scans," Kale announced. The first results made everyone pause. The planet teemed with life forms beyond anything they had encountered. Massive creatures moved through the oceans, while countless species inhabited the forests and plains. The biodiversity exceeded every known world in the galactic database. "How is this possible?" Vell whispered. "Life should not be able to flourish on an extinction-class world." The answer would soon reveal itself in ways that would forever change their understanding of what it meant to be dangerous in the galaxy. As they prepared to enter orbit around Sol-3, none of them could imagine the horrors that awaited their discovery, or how their perception of the universe would be forever altered by what they learned about the beautiful blue world spinning beneath them. Dawn broke over the forest clearing as the survey team shuttle touched down with barely a whisper. Dr. Cale Thornton checked his environmental suit one final time before stepping onto the surface of SOL-3. The air seemed breathable according to their sensors, but nobody wanted to take chances on an extinction-class world. The morning sunlight filtered through tall trees, creating dancing shadows across the mossy ground. Birds sang somewhere in the canopy above, their melodies almost hypnotic in their beauty. Flowers bloomed in patches of sunlight, their colors more vibrant than anything in the galactic botanical databases. "This place is magnificent," whispered Navigator Quinn, his aquatic suit allowing him to experience the humid forest air. "I cannot understand why the computers rate this as dangerous." Captain Vell moved gracefully between the trees, her Centauri senses detecting no immediate threats. Her people had evolved sophisticated danger detection capabilities, yet everything here felt peaceful. Small insects buzzed lazily through the air, and somewhere nearby, water bubbled over rocks in what sounded like a gentle stream. The team had landed in what appeared to be a nature preserve, far from human settlements. Their plan was simple: observe the local ecosystem and document whatever made this world so lethal. So far they had found nothing but beauty and tranquility. "Movement detected at 200 meters, announced Communications Officer Nira, her compound eyes tracking something through the undergrowth. The team crouched behind a fallen log as several graceful creatures emerged from the forest. Four-legged animals with brown fur and delicate features stepped carefully into the clearing. Their large eyes seemed gentle, almost trusting, as they began eating grass and leaves. "Fascinating," Cale observed, recording everything. "These creatures show no fear response to our presence. They appear to be herbivorous, completely harmless." The deer continued their peaceful grazing, occasionally lifting their heads to scan the area before returning to their meal. One of the younger animals approached within a few meters of the hidden observers, its curiosity apparently overcoming any caution. "Perhaps the planet's danger rating is incorrect," suggested Val. "These animals seem quite docile." The peaceful scene shattered in an instant. Gray shapes exploded from the forest with terrifying speed, their powerful legs carrying them directly toward the grazing deer. The lead predator's jaws clamped down on the neck of the nearest herbivore, bringing it crashing to the ground. Nir single quotes S horrified clicks echoed through the cum system as the pack of wolves tore into their prey. The remaining deer scattered in panic, their graceful movements now desperate attempts to escape death. The sounds of the hunt filled the air, growls, snapping branches, and the terrified bleats of dying animals. "By the void!" Quinn gasped, his aquatic suit's filters working overtime to process his rapid breathing. "They are killing for food." The concept of predation existed in galactic databases, but most civilized species had evolved beyond such primitive behavior millions of years ago. To witness it happening in real time was deeply traumatic for beings who had known only peaceful coexistence. The wolves finished their meal and disappeared back into the forest, leaving behind scattered remains that would soon feed countless other creatures. The cycle of death and consumption that defined life on SOL-3 had revealed itself within their first hour on the planet. "We need to study human settlements," Kale said, his voice shaking. "If this is how animals behave, we must understand how the dominant species survives." And the team relocated to a hilltop overlooking a small human town. Their advanced sensors allowed them to intercept radio transmissions and observe daily activities without being detected. What they discovered exceeded their worst fears. The humans appeared to celebrate violence. Large crowds gathered in arenas to watch individuals attack each other with their bare hands. They called it boxing and cheered enthusiastically when one fighter fell unconscious. Other programs showed humans tackling each other with incredible force, their bodies colliding at speeds that would seriously injure most galactic species. "They enjoy watching others suffer," Nira observed with disgust. "This is barbaric behavior." Even more disturbing were the transmissions they intercepted about human history. The records spoke of constant warfare, with humans developing increasingly sophisticated methods of killing each other. They had created weapons capable of destroying entire cities, yet somehow their civilization had survived. "Look at this," Kale said, displaying his analysis of human entertainment. "They create fictional stories about violence, horror, and death. They voluntarily expose themselves to fear and terror for pleasure." The team watched in amazement as humans engaged in activities called horror movies, deliberately frightening themselves with images of monsters and murder. The concept of seeking fear as entertainment was completely alien to their peaceful species. Dr. Kale began cataloging the planet's fauna, and each discovery added to their growing terror. Massive predators called sharks patrolled the oceans, their teeth designed for tearing flesh. Venomous snakes could kill with a single bite. Insects injected paralytic toxins into their victims. Even the plant life included species that could poison or trap unwary creatures. "The humans swim in oceans containing these sharks," Quinn reported, his voice filled with disbelief. "They do it for recreation." The revelation that humans voluntarily entered water containing apex predators was beyond the aliens' comprehension. Their species avoided danger whenever possible, yet these creatures seemed to seek it out deliberately. As night fell, the team intercepted more human transmissions. News reports spoke of natural disasters, accidents, and crimes as if they were routine occurrences. Humans died from countless causes: disease, violence, environmental hazards, yet their population continued to grow. "They are adapted to constant death," Vel realized. Their entire existence is based on surviving in a hostile environment. The team's first day on SOL-3 had revealed a terrifying truth. The planet's extinction class rating was not based on cosmic threats or environmental hazards, but on the simple fact that everything on this world was engaged in a constant struggle for survival. Death was not an unusual occurrence here. It was the foundation upon which all life was built. The observation post hummed quietly in the pre-dawn darkness as Dr. Cale Thornton reviewed the data from their first week on SOL-3. Hidden beneath a carefully camouflaged dome, the alien survey team had watched human behavior with growing fascination and horror. Each day brought new revelations about how these creatures managed to survive on what was clearly the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. Engineer Brix had spent the night analyzing atmospheric readings, her crystalline features flickering with concern as she processed the results. Her species had evolved in controlled environments where even minor atmospheric fluctuations could prove fatal. The composition of Sol-3's air was unlike anything in the galactic database. The oxygen concentration is 21%, she announced to the assembled team. This creates an extremely volatile environment where combustion can occur spontaneously. The implications were staggering. Most galactic species required carefully controlled atmospheres with oxygen levels below 5% to prevent accidental fires, yet humans lived in air that was essentially a combustible mixture waiting to ignite. How do they prevent constant fires? Asked Navigator Quinn, his aquatic suit systems automatically adjusting to filter out the dangerous oxygen levels. They do not, Brix replied, her voice filled with amazement. They deliberately create fires for warmth, food preparation, and manufacturing. They have learned to control this dangerous reaction. Through their observation windows, the team watched a human family preparing their morning meal. Steam rose from a metal container as they boiled water over an open flame. The casual way they handled fire, something that would send most galactic species fleeing in terror, demonstrated how completely adapted they were to their hostile environment. The weather patterns on SOL-3 provided another source of constant amazement. The previous evening had brought a thunderstorm that would have been classified as a major natural disaster on most worlds. Electrical discharges containing millions of volts crashed to the ground repeatedly, while wind speeds reached levels that could damage spacecraft. The humans went outside during the storm, reported Communications Officer Nira, her compound eyes reflecting her disbelief. Some of them were playing games in the rain. The team had recorded video of children splashing in puddles while adults stood on covered porches, apparently enjoying the violent weather. The electrical activity that would have killed most galactic species was treated as a minor inconvenience, something to be endured rather than feared. Medical Officer Zara had spent days analyzing human physiology using their advanced scanners. Her findings painted a picture of a species that had evolved specifically to survive in extreme conditions. Her snake-like features coiled with concentration as she presented her report. Their skeletal structure is remarkably dense, she explained. The bones are reinforced with calcium deposits that can withstand impacts that would shatter most galactic species. Their muscle tissue is designed for explosive power rather than efficiency. The human's cardiovascular system was equally impressive. Their hearts could pump blood at pressures that would rupture the circulatory systems of peaceful species. Their lungs were adapted to extract oxygen from the volatile atmosphere, while their liver and kidneys were essentially biological filtration systems designed to process toxins. Most fascinating is their immune system, Zara continued. It functions like a military defense network constantly at war with microscopic invaders. They live in a state of perpetual biological warfare. The concept of disease was familiar to galactic medicine, but the sheer variety of pathogens on SOL-3 was overwhelming. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites attacked humans constantly, yet they had developed internal defenses that could identify and destroy these threats automatically. Dr. Kale focused his attention on the human settlement below, watching as they went about their daily routines. Children played in areas where poisonous plants grew naturally. Adults operated machinery that generated enough heat to melt metal. Elderly humans walked along paths where a single misstep could result in serious injury. They treat danger as normal, he observed. What would be considered extreme hazards on any civilized world are simply part of their everyday existence. The team sensors detected elevated radiation levels from the star that illuminated SOL-3. The electromagnetic radiation would cause cellular damage to most species within hours. Yet humans spent entire days exposed to these harmful rays. Some even sought out additional exposure, deliberately darkening their skin through radiation absorption. Their skin produces protective compounds automatically, Zara noted. They have evolved biological systems to repair radiation damage continuously. The planet's gravity was another constant threat. At nearly twice the standard galactic norm, the gravitational field would crush most species over time. Yet humans had developed bone density and muscle mass that allowed them to move naturally in this environment. Children learned to walk in conditions that would cripple adults from peaceful worlds. Captain Vell studied the geological data with growing concern. SOL-3 experienced regular tectonic activity that would evacuate entire star systems elsewhere. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and massive storms were routine occurrences. The planet's surface was constantly changing, creating new hazards and destroying old ones. They build their cities on top of geological fault lines, she observed. They know the ground could shift at any moment, yet they continue to inhabit these areas. The team discovered that humans had developed early warning systems for natural disasters, but rather than evacuating permanently, they simply prepared to rebuild after each catastrophe. Their entire civilization was based on the assumption that destruction was inevitable and adaptation was the only survival strategy. The forest around their observation post provided constant examples of the planet's lethality. Insects the size of small spacecraft buzzed through the air, their stings capable of causing paralysis or death. Plants released airborne toxins that could blind or poison unwary creatures. Even the soil contained microorganisms that could cause fatal infections. Every breath they take is potentially lethal, Quinn observed, yet they thrive in this environment. As their second week of observation concluded, the team began to understand the true nature of SOL-3's danger rating. The planet was not threatening because of cosmic phenomena or alien technology. It was dangerous because life itself was a constant battle for survival, and humans had evolved to be the ultimate warriors in this endless conflict. The encrypted military transmission crackled through the communication array at precisely 0600 hours. Catching communications, Officer Nira completely off guard. Her compound eyes dilated in shock as she decoded the human military chatter, revealing conversations that would have been classified as war crimes on any civilized world. Captain Vell, you need to hear this. Nira's voice trembled as she played back the intercepted signals. The humans are discussing weapons deployment strategies that involve the deliberate targeting of population centers. The bridge fell silent as the alien crew processed this information. In their peaceful galactic civilization, warfare was an ancient concept relegated to historical studies about primitive species. The idea that an intelligent race would deliberately harm non-combatants was beyond their comprehension. Dr. Cale Thornton had been studying human historical records for days, and each discovery revealed new depths of their violent nature. The database contained detailed accounts of conflicts spanning thousands of years, with humans developing increasingly sophisticated methods of killing each other. They have weaponized everything, he reported, his voice filled with horrified fascination. Sharp stones became spears, which became arrows, which became bullets, which became energy weapons. They have turned every discovery into a tool for destruction. The team learned that humans had created weapons capable of destroying entire cities in single explosions. Nuclear technology, which most galactic species used exclusively for peaceful energy production, had been immediately converted into instruments of mass annihilation. The fact that humans had used these weapons against each other was terrifying enough, but the revelation that they had built thousands of them was incomprehensible. They call it mutually assured destruction, Nira reported, her translation system struggling with the concept. They created enough weapons to kill everyone on their planet multiple times over as a strategy for peace. Navigator Quinn studied the tactical implications of human military doctrine. His aquatic species had evolved sophisticated cooperation strategies, but nothing in their experience prepared them for the systematic approach to warfare that humans had developed. Their military organizations are designed for maximum efficiency in conflict, he observed. They train from childhood to operate in coordinated units, with each individual prepared to sacrifice themselves for strategic objectives. The concept of willing self-sacrifice for group survival existed in some galactic species, but humans had refined it into an art form. They created elaborate honor systems around death in combat, with soldiers competing for the opportunity to engage in the most dangerous missions. Captain Vel accessed the human entertainment databases, searching for clues about their psychological makeup. What she found exceeded even her worst expectations. Humans created fictional stories celebrating violence, with heroes who solved problems through combat and destruction. They glorify warfare, she realized. Their greatest cultural achievements often involve individuals who excelled at killing other humans. The team discovered that humans engaged in activities they called extreme sports, deliberately seeking out dangerous situations for entertainment. They jumped from aircraft without proper landing systems, climbed vertical rock faces without safety equipment, and raced vehicles at speeds that would prove fatal in any accident. They actively pursue danger, reported Engineer Bricks, her crystalline form flickering with confusion. What most species would consider survival instincts have been reversed in humans. They are attracted to risk rather than avoiding it. The psychological profiles revealed that humans experience pleasure from overcoming dangerous challenges. Their neurochemistry was designed to reward risky behavior with euphoric sensations, creating a positive feedback loop that encouraged them to seek ever greater thrills. Dr. Kale studied footage of human rescue operations during natural disasters. Instead of fleeing from danger, trained humans deliberately entered the most hazardous situations to help others. They ran toward collapsing buildings, dove into turbulent waters, and flew aircraft through violent storms. They overcome their survival instincts through conscious choice, he noted. They can calculate extreme risk and choose to accept it for the benefit of others. The team observed human emergency responders racing toward a chemical plant fire. That would have prompted immediate evacuation on any civilized world. The humans methodically entered the burning facility, coordinating their actions through radio communications while surrounded by toxic fumes and explosive materials. Their cooperation under extreme stress is remarkable, Quinn admitted. They function as a unified organism when facing common threats. Medical Officer Zara had been analyzing human stress responses and discovered that they actually performed better under dangerous conditions. Their bodies produced biochemical compounds that enhanced reflexes, increased strength, and improved decision-making capabilities when threatened. They have evolved to thrive in crisis situations, she reported. What would cause system shutdown? In most species actually makes humans more capable. The team witnessed this phenomenon during a human sporting event that simulated combat conditions. Participants navigated obstacle courses designed to test their ability to overcome physical challenges while under pressure. The humans appeared to enjoy the experience, with spectators cheering for the most dramatic displays of endurance and skill. They compete to see who can survive the most dangerous conditions, Vel observed. They have turned survival into entertainment. The military implications were staggering. If humans ever developed interstellar travel capabilities, they would represent a threat unlike anything the galactic civilization had ever encountered. Their entire culture was based on overcoming opposition through superior force and tactical thinking. The team intercepted transmissions from human space programs, revealing that they were already experimenting with technologies that could lead to faster-than-light travel. The prospect of humans spreading throughout the galaxy was becoming increasingly likely. They are already sending automated probes to other worlds, Nero reported. Their expansion into space appears inevitable. As their third week of observation concluded, the team began to understand the true horror of Sol 3's inhabitants. Humans were not just survivors of a dangerous world, they were the ultimate predators, shaped by millions of years of constant conflict into the most efficient killing machines in the known galaxy. The beautiful blue planet spinning beneath them had created something unprecedented in galactic history, a species that combined intelligence, technology, and an absolute willingness to engage in violence to achieve their objectives. The implications for galactic civilization were profound and terrifying. The conference room aboard the survey vessel fell silent as Dr. Cale Thornton activated the holographic display. 4 weeks of observation had produced a comprehensive report that would fundamentally change how the galactic civilization understood planetary threat assessment. The data streaming across the walls painted a picture that defied every assumption about what made a world dangerous. Members of the Galactic Council, Cale began, his voice carrying the weight of unprecedented discovery. We have completed our investigation of Sol-3, and our findings require immediate revision of existing threat classification protocols. The assembled representatives from dozens of worlds leaned forward in their seats, their various forms of anatomy reflecting the peaceful diversity of galactic civilization. None of them could have imagined what they were about to learn about. The seemingly beautiful planet displayed before them, Sol-3, received its Extinction Class Omega rating not because of cosmic phenomena or environmental hazards, but because of the evolutionary pressures that shaped its dominant species. The planet has created the most dangerous life form in galactic history. Captain Vell presented the environmental analysis that had taken weeks to compile. The data revealed a world where violence was not an aberration but the fundamental basis of existence. Every aspect of the planet's ecosystem was designed around the concept of competition for limited resources. The surface experiences regular mass extinction events, she explained. Volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, climate changes, and geological upheavals have repeatedly wiped out most life forms. Only the most adaptable species survive these cycles. The atmospheric composition data showed oxygen levels that would create combustible conditions on any other world. The humans had learned to harness this dangerous chemistry, turning it into a tool for survival rather than fleeing from its lethal potential. They cooked their food using controlled fire, Vell continued. They have domesticated one of the most dangerous chemical reactions in the universe. Navigator Quinn displayed the gravitational measurements that revealed another layer of the planet's lethality. The surface gravity was nearly twice the galactic standard, creating conditions that would crush most species over time. Yet humans had developed bone density and muscle mass that allowed them to move naturally in this environment. Their children learned to walk in conditions that would hospitalize adults from peaceful worlds, he reported. They have adapted to forces that would be considered extreme hazards elsewhere. Medical Officer Zara presented the most disturbing findings about human physiology. Her analysis revealed biological systems that were essentially designed for warfare. The human immune system was a military-grade defense network that could identify and destroy microscopic invaders automatically. They exist in a state of perpetual biological conflict, she explained. Their bodies are constantly at war with bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. They have evolved internal weapon systems that surpass our most advanced medical technology. The cardiovascular system analysis showed hearts that could pump blood at pressures that would rupture the circulatory systems of peaceful species. Their lungs were adapted to extract oxygen from a volatile atmosphere, while their liver and kidneys functioned as biological filtration systems designed to process toxins. Most remarkable is their stress response system, Zara continued. When faced with danger, they produce biochemical compounds that enhance reflexes, increase strength, and improve decision-making capabilities. They become more dangerous when threatened. Communications Officer Nira presented the cultural analysis that revealed the psychological dimensions of human adaptation. Their entertainment systems glorified violence, their historical records documented constant warfare, and their sports simulated combat conditions. They have turned survival into recreation, she reported. They deliberately seek out dangerous situations for pleasure, competing to see who can overcome the most extreme challenges. The team had documented hundreds of activities that humans considered entertaining but would be classified as life-threatening on any civilized world. Skydiving, mountain climbing, deep-sea diving, and high-speed racing were popular pastimes that required participants to risk death for amusement. They have overcome their survival instincts through conscious choice, Nira explained. They can calculate extreme risk and choose to accept it for personal satisfaction or the benefit of others. Engineer Bricks presented the technological implications of human development. Their scientific advancement was driven by the need to overcome environmental challenges, resulting in innovations that prioritized effectiveness over safety. They have created weapons capable of destroying their entire planet, she reported. Nuclear technology was immediately weaponized, with thousands of devices capable of ending their civilization. They achieved peace through the threat of mutual annihilation. The space program analysis revealed that humans were already developing technologies that could lead to interstellar travel. Their probes had reached the outer edges of their solar system, and their theoretical physics suggested faster than light. Travel was achievable. They are beginning to look beyond their world, Bricks warned. Their expansion into space appears inevitable. Dr. Kale compiled the final assessment that would reshape galactic policy. The data demonstrated that humans were not just survivors of a dangerous world, they were the apex predators of the most lethal environment in the galaxy. Their intelligence, technology, and willingness to engage in violence made them unprecedented. In galactic history, Sol-3 deserves its extinction-class Omega rating because it has produced a species that represents an existential threat to galactic civilization. He concluded, "They are not dangerous because they are primitive, they are dangerous because they are perfectly adapted to overcome any opposition." The vote was unanimous. The Galactic Council officially classified Sol-3 as a protected world, but the protection was not intended for its inhabitants. The classification was designed to protect the rest of the galaxy from humanity's inevitable expansion into the stars. Warning beacons would be positioned throughout the solar system, advising all galactic traffic to avoid the region. Trade routes would be redirected, and exploration missions would be forbidden from approaching the dangerous world. As the survey vessel prepared to depart, long-range sensors detected unusual energy signatures from human space installations. The readings suggested that breakthrough developments in propulsion technology were imminent. "How long before they achieve interstellar capability?" asked Captain Vell. "Based on their current progress, perhaps 50 to 100 years, Kale replied. The implications were staggering. The galaxy had perhaps a century to prepare for contact with the most dangerous species in the universe. The beautiful blue world that had seemed so peaceful from space had revealed its true nature as the birthplace of the ultimate predators. The most lethal planet in the galaxy had created the most lethal species, and they were about to become the galaxy's newest neighbors.